Everyone, can you hear me? All right. Welcome to Ama, a brand new restaurant at a brand new Hotel Atlas. We are thrilled to welcome everyone here, and we are also thrilled to be in partnership with Tishman Speyer, Highgate, and with the Harvard community here. Ama is our second location. Our first restaurant is Comfort Kitchen at Upham's Corner in Dorchester. This is a 180-seat restaurant with close to 70 employees at the moment, offering healthcare and full benefits, and serving tourist and Allston community. On December 18th, the Boston Licensing Board approved Ama for a transferable liquor license. And as you can imagine, restaurant margins are very tight. The numbers don't necessarily work for a full-service restaurant without profits from alcohol sale. So this license is an asset and necessity for our business. In addition to our license, liquor license, we are also grateful for receiving support from Small Business, Office of Small Business for both Ama and Comfort Kitchen. I've been a restaurant owner since 2020, so about 6 years, and it's been wonderful working with the city of Boston and receiving all these technical assistance from Office of Small Business. The city is implementing these reforms to streamline permitting for entrepreneurs like myself. With permitting reform, support from the Office of Small Business, and new liquor license, the City of Boston and Mayor Michelle Wu are championing small businesses and helping us succeed. Thank you for your time. I'm very excited for this new venture in partnership with Tishman Speyer, Highgate, and our wonderful staff here in the community. Welcome.
Great. Hello, I'm Santiago Garces. I'm the Chief Information Officer for the City of Boston. And I'm really excited to share some of the progress that we've made. So we know that when a person is investing in building a beautiful restaurant or in their homes, in installing solar panels or building or refurbishing their bathroom, they're really putting a lot of hope and expectations, and they're putting their money to try to build a dream. And 47% of people have told us in our surveys that not having clear information about the permitting experience is the thing that is the most frustrating about requesting a permit. And it is a tough challenge because we need to translate the incredible expertise that our teams have in inspectional services, in the fire department, and all of the teams that regulate permitting, because we have short forms and long forms and electrical permits, but that's not the way that people think about what they're trying to do. People are trying to redo their bathroom. They want to build a restaurant. So we just launched boston.gov/permitting, and it is still in early phases, where, for starters, we took 20 of the most common permitting experiences: replacing a window, refurbishing or remodeling a kitchen, refurbishing or remodeling a bathroom. And we build content based on the information that our experts at these departments have and put it in terms that people really understand. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight as well is our mayor asked us not only to think about how is it that we're going to solve a problem, but knowing that Boston's a unique place where we have so many deep and interesting partnerships to solve problems in new ways, that when we started building this new experience, we took 25 years worth of data from permits that people have already requested, and we used AI to help us understand how do those permits, which again are in this administrative language, align with the resident experience. So we were able to to understand that there's about 260 permitting experiences, these clusters, and based on this, and because we use technology, we were able to prioritize which were the permitting experiences that were the most frequent. And these 20 articles, which are just the beginning, we know that we have about 200 more to go, are really the ones that are the most common and most frequent. But because again, we're in a place that is surrounded by great universities and great partners, we're able to partner with Northeastern University and the AI for Impact program to start building tools that allow us to create these articles in a way that is much faster. So even though these 20 articles were built with our really amazing team, the user research and service design team in Boston Digital Service, we are hoping to use these new tools that leverage AI to help us build content that is accurate, that is useful, much faster. And we really hope that you go to boston.gov/permitting. We're requesting feedback. Again, this is something that the mayor has asked us to work. Not only have we typically think of the city moving slowly, but we're requesting people to use this tool to tell us about what are the things that are working and also what are the things that are not working. And we hope that by the summertime, we'll hopefully be able to give people a full rundown of what are the things that they need to open up restaurants like Alma here, which we know that are the heart of what energizes our city. So I'll turn it over to our Commissioner of Inspectional Services.
Thank you, Santiago. Congratulations to Ama. My name is Tanya Del Rio. I am the Commissioner of Inspectional Services for the City of Boston. We're one of the many teams that's participating enthusiastically in the Mayor's Permitting Transformation Initiative. We're coordinating with teams like Santiago's and many others to provide a better experience for folks. So I'm going to tell you today about 3 updates that Inspectional Services has working towards that end. First, we're happy to share that new this year, 2026, we small establishments that have an occupancy under 50 people and no alcohol service are exempt from our certificate of inspection. They don't have to renew that. We've been having people coming into ISD not believing it, like they bring the letter that we sent out and they're like, is this real? Do we really not have to do this? And they're leaving happy. This is true. If you are under 50, no alcohol service, you do not have to renew your certificate of inspection this year. And we're happy about this because it's giving small businesses back some time and some money while still keeping safety a priority. So ISD's health division is still going to visit you once a year at least if you're serving food. And then we're also asking constituents, if you see, of course, anything that's of concern, an example could be a blocked means of egress or anything like that that's of concern, use the 311 app. ISD is able to visit right away. Another update that I'm very happy to share is that this year, later in the spring, ISD is going to reach our goal of having 100% digital permitting. That's for the first time this year when we bring online our certificate of occupancy application. It's following efforts to get our permit inspection requests, our sheet, metal, our trench, and our sprinkler applications on the online portal. Of course, we do love to see you at 1010 Massachusetts Avenue, but if you don't want to see us, that's okay. And then lastly, one more pain point that we're working on relieving is plans review. A lot of people tell us about how that's a part of the process that slows them down. This year, ISD is upgrading a few of our plans review positions to enable more of our staff to conduct the fire safety reviews. That's going to correct an existing bottleneck in the review process and save people a number of days in their permitting journey. So all of this to say, Mayor Wu has challenged us to create a permitting experience that has no wrong doors, where you're providing your information to us only once, and then we talk amongst ourselves. And lastly, where we are transparent about where you are in the process and what your requirements are. Again, the website being a great example of that. We were very happy to contribute to that. We're scaling back requirements to make sure they're matching the type of business and the scale of your business, saving people time, reducing frustration. We have streamlined a lot of processes. However, we're obviously not there yet. We're working towards that goal every day, but we do thank you in allowing us the time and your attention to just share how we're going and the progress that we have made. So with that, I think I'm introducing our Mayor Wu.
Thank you so much. Thanks to Santi and Tanya. Thanks to all the members of our team who have worked so hard to simplify some really complicated and really antiquated systems. We're also joined here by members of the fire department, the licensing board. I see our Chief of Operations, Chief Dion Irish in the house, our Chief of Policy, Krista McSwain, alongside DeWitt and Technology Arm, our innovation team, Inspectional Services, and our Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion, including Donald Wright and so many of the team members who focus on small businesses every day. I also want to give a very special shout out to Jennifer, who is our Alston and Brighton liaison, who's our eyes and ears on the ground, and we're in her home turf. Thanks for all that you do day in and day out. I want to say, most of all, yes, we are here because there's been a lot of changes as we've been sprinting to try to simplify complicated permitting systems and make things easier, more convenient, more affordable for residents and for businesses. And we have been hearing over and over again, this can't be real, that the city government is actually trying to take away requirements and make things faster. So we're here to say, yes, this is the official word that permitting is meant to get easier. And when you get these notifications that certain requirements are no longer there or certain fees are no longer having to be paid, this is an intentional goal to try to make Boston the best place to do business, the easiest place for families, for entrepreneurs to have what they need and to thrive. We're also here to talk a little bit about just why permitting matters. It's one of those emotional gut feelings when you ask someone when they have to go to City Hall, what they're trying to do. We want that not to be a stressful gut reaction. I know paying parking tickets or paying taxes and all of these things that help us kind of manage our community and our society are important, and they're not always glamorous. We want permitting to be a place where you feel like when you reach out to the city of Boston, you're actually getting access to even more supports and help than you even knew existed, rather than having to battle through a complicated set of red tape. And so we're cutting that red tape to make this easier. Most of all, we're here today to show exactly why this matters. So to Bipla and Nayako, thank you for hosting us. Thank you to the entire AMA team for all that you do, and over at Comfort Kitchen as well. This is a locally owned small business that is part of now a major investment in the growth of a part of the city that had not seen the development in many, many years that had been planned. We are now in a building that represents Harvard and the city of Boston's commitment to cutting-edge technology and continuing to invest in research and innovation, no matter what is happening in the rest of the world, and recognizing that to do so, we have to have the spaces that make everywhere home away from home for those who are coming together. Restaurants are absolutely key to that. So whether it is the James Beard award-winning venture at Comfort Kitchen or here at AMA, we're really grateful and proud that when we can help invest in our local businesses, that return comes back exponentially to all of us in the community. So, previously, if you had a big idea for a new business, like a restaurant or something else that has been your passion and your dream, not only did you have to think about how to build that business plan and make it real, you also had to become an expert in city bureaucracy just to figure out where to start. This is a very personal endeavor for me. It is my first project that I worked on years ago when I first started at City Hall under Mayor Menino, trying to tackle restaurant permitting, getting the very first forms and applications online when they had not been accessible before. And it goes back even further, because the reason why I ended up in government at all is my experience as a very, very small business owner, a venture much smaller than this beautiful 180-seat venture here. But when my family was struggling years ago, I did my very best to try to support them and opened a small tea house. And the process of navigating permits and bureaucracy and doing the numbers every single night to see if we would finally be able to make rent, or waiting month after month after month for the processes to happen while we were already putting all our costs and savings into this venture. I know the tenacity of our small business owners. I know the sacrifice that they put in every day. And I also know the incredible potential and the community that can only be built when there are special places like this for people to come together, celebrate their biggest moments, to get to know their friends and colleagues, and also to feel the most themselves. Maybe it's a challenging moment where you need a drink at the bar to have a hard conversation with a friend, to feel like there's still someone grounding you in this moment that we're in. Our restaurants and our businesses provide that all across the city in every single neighborhood. And so our administration is working to make Boston the best place for these small business anchors to thrive. We're reorienting our entire approach around a simple question. What are you trying to do? And how can we help? Not which department do you need, not what form or combination of forms can capture your entire situation, but what are you trying to do and how can we help? Over the past year, our team has completely redesigned boston.gov/permitting, as you heard, to work based on the way people actually think and need information and to help get stuff done. And once people enter our permitting process, the city will be supporting, not standing in the way. So we're also not just getting the information out about the current process, we're working to change the process itself, to simplify and streamline and take away costs and steps. We're trying to reduce the financial and administrative hurdles that make it harder than it should be to do business. So I will just reiterate some of the great information that's been shared so far to insist that this is real and actually happening, and the first of many steps to come. Number one, just to reiterate, starting this year, establishments with fewer than 50 seats and no alcohol service do not need to pay a fee to renew their certificate of inspection. For small cafes, restaurants, and community spaces, it's important to just ease the process a little bit, remove that one administrative step and a little bit of the costs. Number two, for decades, businesses have had to send physical samples of fabric to the one chemist at the city to get tested. And that is for good reason, to make sure that we're all safe in every situation. But it was quite a process to get through. So now, if you're using upholstered furniture in your business or installing window shades, you can just provide the proof from the manufacturer that these meet national fire safety testing standards. So, and for those items that for some reason or another still require testing to ensure that they are fire safe and fireproof, the testing time has now decreased from multiple weeks to no more than 1 week. And we're going to keep working on that. Number three, in the coming months, the application for a certificate of occupancy will have an online option for the very first time. That means all ISD applications will be available digitally, and you don't need to visit our offices to fill them out. And number four, Inspectional Services is increasing capacity to conduct fire safety reviews, which will eliminate an existing bottleneck in the planned review process. I also just wanted to touch a little bit on liquor licenses and give a quick update. For decades in Boston, if you wanted to open a restaurant with a liquor license, you had to pay more than $500,000 to buy a license from another restaurant that had closed. This led to a lot of concentration in certain neighborhoods and some neighborhoods with no sit-down restaurants at all. But we have been working after the baton has been passed from administration to administration and decade after decade to try to work to get more availability. We, as of a few years ago, had worked with the state to get 225 new liquor licenses to distribute for free, the most since Prohibition in Boston. And since last year, 64 liquor licenses have been awarded across 14 different neighborhoods. That's from here at AMA, which opened last Wednesday and is welcoming people from around the world and our local residents, to community spaces like coffee shops and bookstores that now can also be vibrant evening spots, like Jadu in Jamaica Plain or Just Bookish in Dorchester. There are still licenses available. So if you have a small business or you are thinking about opening one, please go to boston.gov to learn more and start the process of applying for a license and reaching out to get support from the city. Our goal is to make city government work the way people actually experience it and to help people accomplish things, not stand in the way of their progress. At a time when the federal government is imposing tariffs and other barriers that hurt small businesses and making it harder for entrepreneurs and all of our community members to succeed, Boston is doing the opposite. We're lowering barriers. We're making it easier to build, to grow, to create. And that's how we make our city a home for everyone. Okay, otra vez en español, just because I want to make sure everyone from our community our Spanish-speaking community is connected as well. Buenos días y gracias. Por demasiado tiempo, nuestro sistema de permisos se ha diseñado para el beneficio de lo que la ciudad necesita para hacer negocio y no al beneficio de lo que los gerentes y los dueños de negocios realmente están tratando de lograr. Así que durante el último año, nuestro equipo ha rediseñado completamente boston.gov/permitting para trabajar de una manera en que la gente realmente piensa y les ha ayudado. Y estamos trabajando para reducir los obstáculos financieros y administrativos que hacen que sea más difícil de lo que debería ser hacer negocios en Boston. Hoy estoy emocionada de destacar varios cambios que harán la vida más fácil para las pequeñas empresas en toda nuestra ciudad. Primero, a partir de este año, los establecimientos con menos de 50 asientos y sin servicio de alcohol ya no necesitan pagar una tarifa para renovar su certificado de inspección. Segundo, durante décadas, las empresas han tenido que enviar muestras físicas de tela al único farmacéutico de la ciudad para que se hicieran pruebas. Pero ahora, si está utilizando muebles tapizados o vendiendo tela en su negocio, solo deben enviar datos de prueba del fabricante que demuestre que el material es sano. Tercero, en los próximos meses, la solicitud de un certificado de ocupación tendrá una opción en el Internet por primera vez. Y cuarto, los servicios de inspección están aumentando la capacidad para realizar revisiones de seguridad contra incendios, lo que eliminará otra barrera existente en el proceso de revisión del plan. También quiero dar una actualización sobre nuestro trabajo para ampliar el acceso a las licencias de licor. Por décadas, si querías abrir un restaurante con una licencia de licor, tenías que pagar cientos de miles de dólares para comprar una licencia de otro restaurante que cerró. Pero trabajamos con el Estado para obtener 225 nuevas licencias de licor para distribuir gratis. Y desde que empezamos a distribuir esas licencias el año pasado, hemos aprobado 64 licencias de licor en 14 vecindarios. Todavía hay licencias disponibles, así que si tiene un pequeño negocio o si está pensando en abrir uno, diríjase a boston.gov para solicitar una licencia. Nuestro objetivo es hacer que el gobierno de la ciudad funcione de la manera en que la gente realmente lo vive y ayudar a las personas a lograr cosas, no interferir en su progreso. En un momento en que el gobierno federal está imponiendo varios pagos que perjudican a las pequeñas empresas y hacen más difícil el éxito de los empresarios, Boston está haciendo lo contrario. Así es como hacemos de nuestra ciudad un hogar para todos. Okay, thank you so much to everyone. And now I'm going to pass it on to President of the Boston City Council and District Councilor for this area, Liz Braden.
Good morning, everyone. When I saw the invite to this press conference this morning, I was very, very excited. It's been a journey that we've been on with Tishman Speyer and the local community to really bring this to fruition, but I'm really delighted that AMA is here in our neighbourhood, and I really want to thank all of our colleagues at all the different departments in City Hall who've been working on this, not City Hall, 1010 Mass Ave as well, who've been working on this to really streamline the permitting process for small businesses. I think the Mayor was really spot on when she mentioned that this is a pain point for small businesses as they want to realize a dream of starting a new enterprise, and they've all this red tape to work through. And I feel also that eliminating some of the red tape is really beneficial because time is money. And if you've rented a space, leased a space, and you're trying to get it up, the longer it takes to get your doors open and get your customers in and spending money in your premises, you're losing money every day. And lots of our small business owners are putting all their life savings into a new venture like this, and it's really important that the city supports them. So I'm delighted. I'm looking forward to coming here and enjoying this wonderful space and enjoying the good food. And it's really, as a city councillor for this district, I'm really excited to see this come to fruition. But I'm also really excited to hear about all the great improvements in the permitting process that are envisioned. And as you say, you have 200 still to go? All right. We'll get it all done by the end of the year. Very good. And thank you all. Take care.
Questions?
Can you reiterate how AI is being incorporated into making the permitting process easier?
Sure. So we have been using AI right now in 3 different ways. The first one, AI helped us when we set out the goal of trying to change the permitting process in a way that made more sense for constituents. We're trying to figure out where to start. So we used AI to take the 25 years worth of history from the permits to try to create these experiences around what were the applicants actually trying to do. That's what gave us that number of 260 kind of permitting experiences, and what allows us to prioritize the roadmap and being able to select the permits that actually, the experiences that have the most use. The second place is one that we developed that we haven't used yet, which is these tools that our partners at Northeastern. We have Dr. Beth Novak and Dr. David Fields here, who are helping us because we have so many content that we need to building tools that actually help our teammates in inspectional services, in the licensing board, be able to build content like web pages that are actually clear around what steps are needed, what are the permits that you actually need to get to be able to fulfill that kind of permitting experience. So that's one that we've built. And then the last piece, which is a little bit experimental as well, and we want people's feedback, is we're also using AI to improve the ability of searching through the website to find the information that is most useful. And again, it's work that we're doing with a lot of partnership with universities, and because we have such a vibrant ecosystem of innovation in Boston, that we're trying to push the limit in being able to do this with higher quality and faster.
I want to just give a tiny detail, as I've been briefed on that piece of it that really stuck out to me is sort of how much faster we can do things by under Santi and the team's leadership of using every possible technological tool. So when he says 25 years of permits, 250,000 different applications for various kinds of permits to the city, and there had been one box and the application that just allows people in free form to say what they were trying to accomplish at the end with the application for that particular permit. And before, across 250,000 permits, there was no way to really code or understand the uniqueness of, wanting to renovate your bathroom or start a restaurant that has liquor and nighttime and outdoor patio and all of that. But then to be able to consolidate that into 260 really sort of categories of experiences allows us to hone in and actually make a difference right away. My boys are 8 and 11 right now. They do not understand what it means to not be able to get the answer to a question. You can talk about anything at home. If I don't know, if Dad doesn't know, it doesn't just end there at the dinner table like it did when I was younger. They say, go search it up, go figure it out right now, Google it or whatever it is. And that's the way the world works right now. You can't be expected to have to learn the language of city permitting to know you need this and that and this permit all put together to get to the end result. We have to be able to move to help people understand the information that they're trying to get right away, quickly, from their perspective with the final outcome, because ultimately that's what city government is here for, not to regulate every individual step, to the maximum that it could be, but to make all of us safe, to make all of us connected, to help our communities thrive by helping to support the end results that people are trying to invest in our neighborhoods, new ideas, new ventures, new businesses, new construction, all supporting the experience of having the highest quality of life here in our city.
Could the use of AI and streamlining for permitting result in loss of jobs out of City Hall?
So we don't think so. I mean, right now what we're focusing on is, again, if a resident wants to put solar panels on their roof, they have to get a number of permits, but our staff is so busy processing the permits that it actually takes part of the reason why we had no content. Like when we're talking about making improvements, is we're putting information on the website that had never existed there. We had never told people what you actually needed to put solar panels on your roof, what you needed if you wanted to remodel your kitchen. There's no guide for that. So what we're doing is actually enabling the staff to be able to share that information in a way that makes sense to the public, because they're so busy actually doing the work of processing the electrical permits, the structural permits, and all this stuff. So for us, we think that there's so much capacity that still needs to be had, that we're using technology in new ways, because there's a reason why the permitting experience has been so deficient and it's made it been so frustrating, especially because we haven't had all of the resources to be able to help our colleagues be able to deliver that.
Boston became the first municipal government in the country a few years ago to put out a set of guidelines and parameters for how our workforce can use AI with the right accountability for accuracy, with disclosure, and with access to training and tools. This means that everybody, wherever it makes sense, can do their jobs more easily. There's no city worker that I know that's just sitting around without enough to do, because the needs out in our community are growing every single day, particularly when other levels of government are pulling back. Everything is falling to city government to try to do. And to be able to simplify and take away some of the time that could then be redirected to the work that only our city staff can do, and the sort of human-centered approach that we have as a city in our workforce and in our community. We're trying to draw every possible benefit in getting that time back and then being able to use it in the places where it really counts. Just like here, similarly, when it comes to one example of deploying this technology, our traffic lights, and being able to very quickly analyze across the entire system where Google Maps red, green, and yellow traffic data points us to needing to adjust the timing of streetlights. That's something that would have taken tracking, having folks stand out on the street and watching flow, or being in the traffic management center, possibly months or years to get to the same kinds of insights, where now our teams are engaged, fixing them, making traffic run faster, and making the most of the human resources and the capacity that we have.
When it comes to liquor licenses, it was mentioned before that one of them was sold by the owner for $500,000, $500,000. With the additional 250 licenses that will be, available, I think it's at 64, were dispersed amongst new neighborhoods. Do you see that price going down of owners selling their liquor licenses to other businesses? Would that $500,000 figure drop?
We haven't seen that yet. Time will tell. We do think that the influx of these licenses are necessary, because other restaurants in certain neighborhoods couldn't even enter the market. The ones that are being sold for $500,000, those are a different category of licenses that can actually be used by the restaurant owner for pledges, or to leverage their assets for other things. The ones from the city don't have that same value, so still two different categories. And what we tell people, that's a business decision for you, whether or not you want to buy a license on the open market or you're in a position to have one that the city is going to grant to you. So we haven't seen it yet. Time will tell, but we are we're paying attention to that as well. And we haven't seen any drop at all in the last year and a half. Yes, and thanks to Mayor Wu and to the legislature, we recently, last week, approved 5 new license conversions. And what that means is if you have a beer and wine license, instead of having to wait for an all alcohol license to become available for the city, you can fill out a very simple form. And what we're calling it is an automatic upgrade. It's a change in category. And that will help any restaurant owner who is looking to expand their offerings that for their situation. So we had 5 last week. That was very exciting from all different parts of the city. And at our next licensing hearing, we have 5 more ready to go. So bring us your applications. If you're currently a holder of a beer and wine license and you're interested in serving all alcohol, we can walk you through that. We have staff that is ready to help you figure out the details and what exactly is necessary.
Name and title.
Kathleen Joyce, I'm chair of the licensing board.
I'm good. Okay, thanks for coming.